Hey everyone, with Gwent open right around the corner, I didn't want to show you a deck that you're probably going to see a lot on open anyway. I was like, yeah, let's look at a niche deck, and I picked Eldain for it, and Eldain is actually pretty fun to play. And so I thought I'm going to share you my version of the deck, so you have a bit of fun with it, and you can actually use it on a ladder. It's pretty decent. It's probably not tier 1, but you can definitely spice up your gameplay with it and have success with it. So enjoy the guide, subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and let's go. Let's look at the cards. And since this deck is called Traps, it should be no wonder that there are some traps in there. Let's go right through them. Like the first one is Pitfall Trap. And it basically stays on the board until the opponent plays its next units, and then it destroys the unit without triggering its deployability. Which is very handy if, for example, you're able to hit Geonex or Unicorn, or, I mean, also good against Giants, because like it will just give you like 12 points if you hit a Spear Tip, for example. But the coolest thing is also if the enemy runs artifact removal and you play Pitfall Trap before you play your other traps, and the enemy tries to destroy the artifact, then this ability, like the Pitfall Trap, will actually trigger before the deploy effect of the enemy, which means you can destroy the artifact removal of your enemy, and then you can safely play all your traps while still getting value out of Pitfall Trap. Then we have Horn, boosts the adjacent units by 4. You can also manually trigger it, then it will only boost by 3, but therefore you can use Eldain on it, so you get additional value out of it. It turns around as soon as the enemy passes, so this card is really good in round 1 if you want to bamboozle the enemy or like try to trick him into passing. So that's Markham Horn right there for you. Crushing Trap is kind of like the MVP card of this deck, because after 2 Eldain turn on turn end of your turn end, so it will trigger after you pass as well. It will pick the row of the most units of the enemy and deal 2 damage to them, like after 2 turns. So if you have run cards that can move, which we do in this deck, then this card can get enormous value, and kind of like the Dragon Stream. If you play 2 of them, for example for Eldain Gambit, which I'll tell you about later, then this will be even like, this can win your games. In the long run free, this is the card you want to play, and this is what we focus on. Then we have Incinerating Trap. It's not bad with Eldain because you damage the next unit played by 5, so if you hit, for example, Neca Warrior, you'll deny the 5 unit, you'll deny the Neca Warrior, you get basically 4 points of damage, of points for you, so to say. And then you can use Eldain onto the trap for additional value. So especially also in round 1, this card is a good trap to have. And that is all about the traps themselves, but we have ways to get traps onto the board. Most notably, Eldain Gambit. Actually, when I think of it, the only one. Eldain Gambit is a high provision card, but it enables us to play 2 cards out from the deck randomly onto the board. So if you have, for example, played kind of like a mid-range round 1, and you maybe played round 2, which you don't want to do, but let's say there's only a limited amount of cards left in your deck, then you can, through Mulligan, really control what cards you will pull with your Gambit. Therefore, enabling, for example, if you have 2 Crushing Traps left in the deck, you can play your Gambit as your second last card, get 2 Crushing Traps simultaneously onto the board, and get a lot of value from that. So that is a really good card to have in a trap deck. Then we have Eldain. Thanks to Eldain, which basically transforms any trap you have, which needs to face up though, into an Elven Data, which is like an elf with 3 power. We can get a lot of elves simultaneously on the board, which enables us to pull Eldain really consistently. That's why Eldain is often in round 1 where maybe needed, but it's also good in round 3 to get like this extra bonus value on the end. Mulligan is just solid value and removal. It can like other damage for enemies, which is especially good against Genikoras, for example, if they run Neckers. But it also can get rid of a Neca Warrior, for example. So Mulligan, good card to have in the deck. Roach, good value for round 1 again, because Eldain struggles a bit in round 1. So Eldain gives you Roach gives us the additional value to push round 1, and it also fins a bit. Summoning Circle is an interesting choice here, but I'm actually quite a fan of it, because for Summoning Circle, we're not going for high value cards, but for Summoning Circle, we're actually pulling twice low value cards from our deck, and the targets for Summoning Circle are typically either an Elven Scout, because, for example, if you play a trap, then you are not able to play another card. So you would need to play an Elven Scout at the round before, because whenever an Eldain Trap is triggered, it boosts itself by 2. So you would need to play Elven Scout, then you have the enemy round, then you can play your trap, and then like Eldain Scout may get value. But if you have Summoning Circle, and this is only a 4 provision card, you can Summoning Circle your Elfin Scout in the same round where you play a trap, meaning it will get the 2 points value right away. So for example, if you play it with a Pitfall Trap, which immediately triggers as soon as an enemy plays the unit, he cannot do nothing to prevent the extra value on the Elfin Scout. He can't lock it. He can, and if after like playing the Pitfall Trap, you could play another trap. So Elfin Scout is pretty safe if being pulled by Summoning Circle. If you can do this twice in round 3, this will give you a lot of value, especially if you play, for example, like double Crushing Trap at the end. So Summoning Circle really good. Worst case, you're going to look for like Riot Dragoons, for Hawker support, for Archers maybe, or just for Neophytes if you have trouble getting Eldain out. Then we are going for Traps. Nivellen. Nivellen is a big part of our finisher. Like in the Dragon Stream decks, we use Nivellen the same way. Nivellen is the last card we want to play in round 3 after we got 2 Crushing Traps onto the board, because then all the enemies will line onto the same row, getting us even more value for the Crushing Trap. So don't forget, Nivellen has a reach of 2. It doesn't matter too much, but like, you know. Then we have Idar. Melee destroys an artifact. You don't need it too many times because there are not a lot of people playing artifacts currently. So you mostly use its deploy ranged ability, which just boosts the unit by 3, which can help you to have your elf stay alive on the board, so Eldain will come out for sure. Kirin is quite useful because it just locks an enemy unit, but also like to move an enemy onto another row. So for example, if you're playing early Crushing Trap, Kirin can help you to line up units already. But the lock is the MVP here because you don't have much control in this deck. So Kirin is like one of your, well, let's say the only choice, because your traps gives you some limited control, but you don't have much control. Witchers are there for fitting and for a bit of tempo in round 1. Then we have Riot Officer, which enables you, for example, to kill like a Wyvern or something, damage it by 3, so that's cool. Or if you don't need it and you want to have your elves stay on the board, you again go with Boost and Elf by 3. So good choice, good value. Double of an Archer is amazing against Gendekora, which you see a lot these days because it can like kill 2 Neckers when he plays it immediately. So enemy plays a Necker, you get 2 Neckers on the board, you play Archer, you get a 3-point bot on the board and deny the whole Neckers. So Archer, good card as well. Hawker support is there because we basically use a lot of artifacts. So this will actually get a lot of value because it's a 3-point body and it boosts an L by 3 if you control an artifact. And so if you play round 1, for example, you play an Incinerating Trap and you play Hawker support, you already get a Hawker support for 6 value. Dragoon is there just like if you need it in round 1, for example, to get an early Crushing Trap on, but typically you don't need it that much because you always want to rely on Nivellen in round 3. Elfin Scout we already discussed, and Social Neophyte is basically this 2-point body which spawns another 2-point body. Both are elves, so typically Neophyte is the card you want to play if you really want to push for Eldain, and that's for the cards. The Mulligan in this deck is probably the most complicated and can lose or win you the games, because there are a lot of red flags, so to say. You don't want to have Eldain, for example, in round 1, you don't want to have like more than 1 Witcher in round 1, and you don't want to have Roach. So your round 1 is often pretty limited, so you're forced to sometimes play some good cards. Maybe you're even forced to play Gambit, but that's okay as long as you keep good cards, for example, like the Crushing Trap for later rounds. What I'm saying is here is also like the round 3 Mulligan is what you need to focus on most, because that's where you win your games. If you are able to control what you get with Gambit in round 3, and if you are sure that you have, for example, like 2 Crushing Traps, or what also looks very important is if you play, for example, 2 Incinerating Traps at once for Gambit, like both will trigger, but like if there's only like a 4-point unit, then like it's a mighty overkill. Same as with Pitfall Trap and Incinerating Trap, both will trigger, so you will lose a lot of value from one of the traps. Therefore, it's important in round 3 Mulligan that you mulligan in a way that you have, for example, 1 Incinerating Trap in your hand and Pitfall Trap is in the deck, so your Gambit will pull a Pitfall Trap and another card, and not an Incinerating Trap and the Pitfall Trap at the same time. So this is like the important thing in Mulligan. Manage your traps. You want only 2 traps in the deck, and you want to control which of them is, like as I just discussed. And be aware of Eldain, and that you don't brick your witches. About the gameplay plan. I don't want to annoy you too long, so let's make this very short. Round 1 is where you need the tempo, because you need round 1 to win. People can really bleed you if you're playing traps in round 2. So winning round 1 is really essential, and that's why we have a lot of tools to do that. We have the witches with Roach and nice tempo. If you need it, you have Eldain. You can always like use Eldain to transform your traps in round 1 to actually get Eldain out as well. Gives you 5 additional tempo, should help you to win round 1. And don't forget to use your Eldain Traps in round 1, because you never can do 4 Eldain Traps in round 3. It's really rare. 3 you can do most of the time. 2 is really safe, so be sure to get 1 or 2 Eldain Traps out in round 1 for the additional tempo. And as I said, like to get Eldain out, then you need it. Try to play cards like Incinerating Trap in round 1, because that enables cards like the Hawker support, and it enables another Eldain. If you need it, you can play Crushing Trap if you need the value, but typically try to save them for round 3. And depending on what you're playing, for example, against Nilfgaard and Alpha Scout won't find it much value, but against Gannikora, for example, which can't really deal with your Alpha Scout, you can play it to get the additional value as well. What you should do for sure is to play Markham Horn, best at 5 cards, because you then can bamboozle the enemy into passing. For example, like if he's already thinking of passing and you play Markham Horn, he's like, yeah, maybe it's a Pitfall Trap, maybe it's an Incinerating Trap, I'll better pass, because then he needs to commit an additional value, an additional card, but it's actually you have Markham Horn on the board, get the 8-point value when he passes, bam, you get a card up. So that's why Markham Horn in round 1 is really, really good to play. Round 2 is basically passing. You don't want to play round 2, you want to play as many long rounds as possible, like long round 1, long round 3. And in round 3, you then try to get Summoning Circle onto the board immediately, because then you can get 2 4s, maybe like a 4 and a 5 onto the board. And typically you want to, like I said, like combine Summoning Circle with the Alpha Scouts right before you play Trap. You keep your Crushing Trap until Crushing Traps actually until like the second last card. Or you actually get them if you have Gambit, depending like how you mulligan before. And then like you finish off as like with Nibelheim as your last card, while you use the remaining Eldain charges on your traps to get additional value, hopefully even pulling Eldain out for the additional cherry onto the top. Be aware though that like Crushing Trap will trigger after your pass, so if you wanna Eldain the Crushing Traps, then you actually need to play them as your third last card, otherwise like they won't be targetable for you anymore, and you need to take care of, like you need to use Pitfall Trap or Incinerating Trap for the Eldain charges. And that's basically it. Now let's head into an example match. Against Caliga, probably Lippy, but who knows. I've seen like some really strange brand decks lately, so I don't want to take any assumptions. Okay, we got one which we didn't go. We don't have any Eldain, which is nice. We don't necessarily need that many traps. That doesn't help. But now the risk for like stuff is really high. Okay, let's see. We also don't have that much movement, so we can lock that and slip it for sure, I guess. There we go. There's my roach. Good thing is we're on red, so if he like goes a lot of tempo on us in round 1, we can like wait that. There's a lot of tempo, of course. You want to get a trap out for sure, because the thing is, with the trap, we can then at least get an Eldain charge.
Listen well.
With Pitfall Trap, we want to hit crawls and wait a bit longer, because we want to get the right moment when crawl is a problem. You play Alpha Scout now. It may actually survive.
You should not have come here.
We'll see. Okay, alright. I thought he's going to play Burn or something earlier, but no. I didn't think he was playing Crawl so soon. That's damn. That is a problem. Well, we need to get witches out of the deck.
Now that's the kind of negotiating I understand.
In 2 cards, can we do it? We're at 14, 10 points in 2 cards. Just need a Crushing Trap. Yeah, okay, now we got a problem. Okay, Crushing Trap is 10. An 8. Nope. Can't do this. Lippy is just like way too much tempo. Way too much. Okay, well, Illyria is still in the deck. Oh, or she's not. Go back there. Gambit-wise, we need to be careful. Okay, we got 2 traps, that's fine. But playing against traps, like, he can bleed his heart, so... Okay. Well, the good thing here is, like, we don't need to play anything special. Just play more fights. And we're going to play a long round against Bran. Long round is potentially good because of our crushing traps. That's summoning circle also very good for long round. Okay, actually this is not a bad hand. Like we don't want to. This would be good, but we can summoning circle that, so it's fine. We actually take this. I'm going to start with summoning circle. That enables us to get like the Elven Scout when we need it, as long as he doesn't kill it. Could be that he has a D-bomb. We don't know. You can always D-bomb this. That's the problem. So you probably want to deny his horn. Want to deny coral. Again, I don't think he's going to play coral right now. So let's wait. I hope he doesn't play D-bomb.
What is it?
It's pretty likely though. Okay, that's not a lane target.
Yes, one.
There we go.
Across the wide, somber sea.
There's the first discard. I'm waiting for... I'm actually waiting for Burner here. Before I play Pitfall. We could go for Horn now. Oh, I play Pitfall into... That actually could work as well. We'll play Pitfall into Elven Scout. When he plays Burner, then like if he doesn't have like Coral in hand, yeah, that's actually fine. Let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going for Elven Scout. So this way, it's very likely that this will survive actually. And then we can also look for a Neophyte to get Eldain out for sure. That's why Summoning Circle is good, because it gives us 2 cards. Yes! Good target! Thank you very much. Nice! So then we're probably going for the other cards. Okay, there's the Incinerating Trap. Do we? Yeah, we played the back row. I don't know. I don't know why we shouldn't win. Okay, that's 4 value. That's good. It's nice that it actually gets value. I don't dare to boost it with either. So we're going to boost the lane instead. I've got 4 elves on the board. Looks good for Illyrian. That's Coral.
I suppose. And the end.
That's good for him. It's killing off my elves. Maybe you need to Eldain next round just to be sure to get Illyrian out. Because, yeah, he killed 2 elves. Look at this. So yeah, we're going for Illyrian now. Also because we need to Crushing Trap later. Going to kill off the Skirmisher. It will get us... Oh, actually we don't, because... We're actually going to kill off Lippy, I guess. Actually we don't want to kill off anything. Because he was going to Horn. And he's going to Horn anyway. So just kill the Skirmisher. We have 3 elves, right? 1, 2, 3. So let's get Illyrian out of the deck. There we go. There she is.
To the sea!
I know it's all about... Summoning Circle. At least we got what we wanted. That was a pretty good debomb. Didn't get him value though. Didn't get him value though. We're playing here because of horn.
You stand before the Queen of Skellige.
If you discard special cards, you can like hit me hard. Yeah, there we go. Ah, Coral is like so much value, it's crazy. So 10 value from me right now. There we go. Next turn we get like another Eldain charge and we can go Mulligan. Do we boost Itchin's unit by 3? We get actually 1 more point if we do it right now and then going to Eldain it. So we're going to Crushing Trap. There we go, then we're going to Horn. Then we're going to Eldain it. And then we're Mulligan. And then we pass. And then we'll see. Because we got quite some value here.
This'll be quick and painful.
There we go. Take that, Lippy. Thanks everyone for watching the video. Subscribe if you want to see more Gwent content, especially my in-depth Gwent guides going live on weekends. And don't forget to check out my Patreon page where you can support this channel and get cool rewards in the process. My Twitch times are Monday to Thursday starting at 2 CET. See you on stream.